Welcome to our webinar about digitizing your HR operations and empowering your teams. This is one of what I think are quite a few unique webinars we've been running to demonstrate the compelling reasons why this sector needs to fast track digital change and the benefits you can achieve from doing just that. My name is Conrad Thomason, and I'm the Digital Transformation Director at Intrigent Systems Limited, who are an IT and digital change consultancy. And in a nutshell, what we do is we help clients solve complex IT infrastructure and digital challenges end to end through our consultancy, through our technology, and through a managed services operation based up in Cambridge. Now, a bit about me. I've got over 20 years of change management experience. I started out my career working for a top-tier consulting firm delivering multi-million-pound change programs. And last year for Intrigent Systems Limited, I was leading a large digital transformation for a transport business based on the South Coast. Now, I'm going to be running this webinar with Per Hervé, who is a director at one of our partner organizations called Adonis, who are a HR and payroll consultancy. And he's going to be demonstrating in a little bit more detail some of the benefits and some of the key secrets behind digitizing your HR operations, but focusing in particularly on their employee self-serve solution. But before I hand over to Per Hervé, I'd like to add a little bit of context and also talk about some of the opportunities for businesses who introduce employee self-serve to their organizations. Now, although leisure travel has resumed and the demand for freight services is rising, there's extreme uncertainty and the pressure on margins and market share is probably higher than ever before. Companies are looking for ways to reduce costs and improve efficiency, and HR departments are not immune from that drive. And that's why we believe now, more than ever, is the time to act and start fast-tracking your digital change projects. Over the past few months, we've introduced several digital strategies which we believe will help the sector manage this evolution and come through this crisis much stronger. First of all, build a solid foundation. When you're embarking on digital change, the first and most important thing to consider is your IT infrastructure. It's your foundation. Simplifying and modernizing your IT infrastructure using software-defined networking technology will mean it will perform better, it will be cheaper to run, easier to manage, and much less vulnerable to increasing numbers of security threats. And most importantly, it will make your business more flexible and scalable to drive digital change initiatives such as employee self-serve and grow. We also spoke about the necessity, especially now, to introduce modern cloud-based systems to enable flexible working so that staff can access the applications and services they need anywhere, anytime, without the need to go into the office. Now, if you build a solid foundation and also adopt a cloud-first approach, this can result in some significant cost savings in terms of less storage, less computation, less network costs, and also reduction in the costly desk space. Think self-serve. Now, whilst many leisure travelers are very familiar with self-serve, operations are much less so, which is why we spoke about extending self-serve to other parts of the business, such as giving your commercial customers the ability to book their own space and transport. This is something we demonstrated last time, and also to your HR operations. Introducing employee self-serve technology to HR is a great way to reduce manual data entry and all of its associated issues and costs. We also spoke about the importance of reducing costs, increasing efficiency, and expanding market share by automating core processes. Now, although good progress has been made, many businesses, we think, are still relying on a plethora of systems, spreadsheets, and manual processes to manage their operations. In fact, last webinar, we spoke about how we digitized the freight handling process for a client end to end, but today, we're going to be focusing on how digitizing HR operations can take away all of that non-value adding work from HR professionals so they can focus on more strategic tasks. Reimagine the customer journey. And the pandemic has and will continue to have an impact on the way we travel, from what we pack, what we sit, where to sit, when to travel, and the prices we pay. And all of this has an impact on the digital journey. So it's important to make this and the employee journey as easy and enjoyable as possible. Too much friction in the journey, and what I mean by that, too many clicks, your customers and your employees will abandon you and they will go elsewhere. We also spoke about the importance of getting the most out of your data. Although many businesses understand the benefits of data, from our experience, very few acknowledge they have turned it into value or some kind of benefit. A good starting point is to start breaking down those silos and bringing all of your data into one place so you can start doing stuff with it. You can blend it, you can correlate it, and start to find ways to improve business performance and competitive advantage much, much faster. And one thing is for sure, many of our clients, not just in the travel and transportation sector, would not have been able to continue operating successfully without our help managing and improving their core systems. Managed services not only save you time and money, but they can also help you survive and continue as a business. Now, one of the areas where we believe there are a lot of opportunities and where we'd like to focus in on today is employee self-serve. Businesses now more than ever before need to find ways to reduce cost, increase efficiency, and employee self-serve is a great solution that can help you with that. First of all, it can save you time. Employee self-serve eliminates manual data entry and frees up your HR team. It also increases the speed of your processes, helping you recruit top talent much faster and keep them for longer. And with automation comes data. And when you can turn that data into insights, it can help you make better decisions which influence the outcomes your business needs. Empowering your employees through employee self-serve also increases engagement and satisfaction. You can review your rosters, upload your certifications, update your personal information. You feel in control of your own information, your own destiny. This has a really positive impact on your experience, and this naturally leads to higher retention levels and lower recruitment costs. And when your employees are responsible for their own data, it reduces errors and duplications and makes your data more accurate, saving you all that time rekeying. And when your data is more accurate, it's easier to turn into insights and actions that really increase value. Compliance. Employee self-serve makes it easy to satisfy compliance. You're in control of all employee accreditations and certifications digitally in one place, and giving visibility of all of that documentation reduces all of that reporting overhead, as well as help you plan better. And finally, employee self-serve also makes it easier for line managers to view and monitor things such as sickness and absenteeism. The data is more accurate, and this makes it easier to manage long-term problems and carry out earlier well-being interventions. It's easier for line managers and employees to book and approve leave. It's easier for line managers and employees to book and approve training. And this all amounts to improving planning and ensuring the right person is available at the right time, avoiding any unnecessary delays. So now I'd like to hand over to Per Ove, who will demonstrate in a lot more detail the employee self-service solution and how these benefits can be achieved in reality.
Well, thank you, Conrad, and apologize for all the tricky Norwegian consonants in my name, but you managed it very well, actually, so thanks for that. Yeah, Adonis has been in the global market with our HR and payroll solutions for a fairly long time, close to 30 years, and at first only in shipping, later also with other industries in the travel and transportation sector. When you have employees on the move, whatever business you run, there is a lot of similar challenges facing employers. I'll spend the next 15 minutes to show you some of the software we have developed during this digital revolution that we are in the middle of. There has been a huge change in the way we think and the way we work with HR and payroll. The self-service here to stay, and it's not just about higher efficiency and savings, as many people think, but also important factors like employee satisfaction, loyalty, and so on, as you mentioned, Conrad. So let's start with the basic principle behind our solutions to capture data at the source. Data capture has never been easier. I mean, why should data be re-entered maybe several times before they reach their final destination? It's like we are so stuck with the old familiar way of doing things that we can't move forward, especially in the HR and payroll departments, which never has been at the top of the table when it comes to budgets for new technology. To break this circle, you need to ask some very important questions. Where is the initial source for the data, who is capturing them, and how many times and on what levels are they re-entered. You'll probably be amazed by the results, even with high-tech companies who are supposed to be at the forefront when it comes to use of modern technology. You do need employee self-serve to take control of the time consumption around your HR and payroll processes. First, I will show you some of the features of the Adonis portal and other tools that can help on this way to a more efficiency and higher quality. This is the login screen for Adonis self-service. As soon as new employees have been approved, they will get a role-based access to modules and functions throughout the portal. They will interact in real time with the core Adonis HR system, so there will be no unnecessary data flow over the internet, no loose files to receive and to save. The user interface here is responsible no matter what platform they are logging in from. It could be a portable PC, a tablet, or a smartphone. The individual employee is the source and the owner of a lot of the data in your HR database. Just take simple things like a change of telephone number, a new home address, or next of kin information. This should not generate work for your office staff at all. With the employee portal, the employees have insight in and impact on their personal information. Simple things like seeing their flights, their planned schedules, their certificates, expiry dates, and so on. And don't let worries about data quality stop you. The employee knows this information best. Whenever there are critical data, an approval process will take place. Your staff will always be at the top of the information, but only when it's necessary. When you empower your employees to take more responsibility for the data they own, you can get rid of one of the biggest time thieves in your office, the old-fashioned secretary role, someone who is just doing work for and serving others. One of the most inefficient processes for office staff is documents maintenance. Expiry dates, certificate renewals, uploads of scans and attachments, medical documents, vaccination, Siemens books, passports. It's all over the place, as you know, flowing in by emails. It keeps the office staff occupied as secretaries, or to be very frank about it, quite a bit of a nanny role. It's like, bye-bye kid, here's your passport. I have thoroughly checked that it's valid and have a safe travel. You should trust and empower your employees to take care of their data. There will still be work left for office staff to check and approve incoming data. That's reasonable and that's sensible work. An obvious question is, how will I cope with those who are not able to manage their own data? But first of all, you can rest assured that they are a minority and it's an endangered species. We have means to tackle it. Adonis notification server, which you can see a message from on the screen here, can be configured to push out pre-formatted alerts in your own style and your own language by any event you want to set as the trigger point. You can even attach automated reports. Let me give you a typical example. You can send a friendly expiry notification, for example, 3 months ahead in time, a passport will expire, as you can see on the screen, and a new one in a more strong language, let's say 1 month before. Basically, it's the same principle as when your bank is flooding you with notifications when you're late with your mortgage payments. Here is a screenshot of Adonis Web Recruitment. It's a service embedded in your website, allowing you to publish vacancies and potential applicants to browse and apply for jobs they may be qualified for. The reason why I'm stopping here is that the moment we start hiring people is the moment we start spoiling them in many ways. I'll try to explain why. We allow job seekers to send us a bunch of loose documents by email. So right from the start, they get used to just notify the company whenever there is something to report with their data. That's what I mean by spoiling. Adonis Web Recruitment will empower the applicants to manage the whole data processing for you. They will upload their biodata, all their documents and pictures and scans, and file the application only if they are qualified for the job. And here is the clue. Unlike with all kinds of recruitment platforms, when the actual employment process starts, there is absolutely no need for any re-entry of data or scans with this model. And even better, all the data from the application process is neatly placed in your Adonis HR system and will form part of the person's profile throughout his life cycle with your company. Now, let's move on to another big time thief, travel expense reporting. It represents hundreds or thousands of hours with secretary work in companies where employees are on the move. Some of you know this too well, how to be flipping through lots of coffee-stained receipts, summarizing them by the penny, making sure they have the exact amounts, re-entering, saving scans, and so on. But not for the guy here, though. He's filing his travel expenses through his mobile phone while he's out on the field. Adonis travel expense reporting can match any business rules you wish to impose on employee travels, whatever country or currency you operate in. We did an analysis earlier this year for a smaller offshore company with around 300 employees, where we found that each travel expense report consumed an average of 30 minutes of office work. With an average of 150 monthly travel expense reports, it amounts to at least 75 man-hours every month. 75 hours of boring, manual, tiresome work, and not to mention the frustrated employees who bring all the paperwork back to their home or to their office desk. Now we will move on to another topic, how Adonis can capture time and attendance at the source. So the video you can see here is shot on board a cruise ship, but the workplace may just as well be on a ferry, a workboat, or at an industry site. They use their ID card to identify themselves at the wall-mounted Adonis time clock whenever they go to work, to rest, to meal, a drill, or whatever. Or they can log in by using a PIN code. The hours which are captured are flowing through to the Adonis Crew portal in real time, where there is an approval process by the team leaders with immediate alerts on violation of MLC rest hour regulations. The work hours captured by the time clock can further be processed for calculation of overtime and project hours as they flow through to payroll and finally the finance system as the last destination. A few words about data accuracy. Every time information has to be retyped, every time a scan or an attachment needs to be saved before reaching its final destination, the risk of human errors will increase. This is just plain logic. Using the methods I just described can eliminate a lot of errors, mistakes, and data inaccuracies. Some of them are not that important, but each error comes with a price tag, and summarized, they can cost you a lot. Now, the compliance issue. We need to stay in compliance. It sounds like a slogan, but it's so fundamental for all operations, not at least within HR and payroll. Anyone to be promoted, for example, needs to comply with the company's requirements for education, training, conduct, and so on. Anyone sent out in the fields to do a job or on board a ship needs to be compliant with the specific job requirements coming from several sources. and any non-compliance discovered in the aftermath of an emergency can be a very costly experience. For a good compliant check and alerts, all relevant data must be accessible in real time. The system needs to look at the past as well as into planning to notify if a breach is coming up. A good example is in the ferry and port industries, with a lot of personnel on a call-out basis. Our day roster planning module will analyze the timesheet from the previous days and weeks and alert you at the moment you are making plans for the evening or the next day. Our rotation planning module will check the rotation schedule against the expiry dates for all required documents and will notify you as well as the employee with prophetic accuracy about all needs for future training and other document renewal. So by moving over from the data processor to the data manager role in your offices, you will free up time for more analytical work. I think this is maybe the most vital value of employee self-serve, to provide more time and resources to do the really important strategic tasks that you are fully aware of, but never can find time and resources for. As Conrad mentioned, client feedback shows that employees are reporting higher job satisfaction as they remove old-fashioned technology. Today, for example, young aspiring people hardly know how to handle pen and paper, to put it on the tip, and they hate putting data into Excel, and even worse when they know that someone will have to re-enter those data later. Companies who are investing a lot in their employees through training and other cultivating efforts need to realize the long-term negative effect on their workforce if they drag behind in the digitalization race. So to summarize, the concept of employee self-service is to move away from the office, from the very costly secretary or nanny role, to a more of a controller, approver, and analyzer role. The millennials, who will be charging the labor market in great numbers very soon, will look for employers who can meet their expectations for IT proficiency with modern tools, employers who are not stuck in cumbersome, outdated technology. Moving to employee self-service will save time, money, and have a huge impact on workplace satisfaction and employee pride. These are important factors for companies that want to be front runners when it comes to reaching their financial goals, as well as to take the best possible care of their most valuable assets, their employees. So with this, I will hand the microphone over to Conrad for the closing words. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Per Ove. So the future is really uncertain at best, and at worst, I think organizations are facing reduced services, mass redundancies, and sadly, even bankruptcy. Organizations need to adapt and evolve with these times, and fast-tracking digital change is the key to survival. If you implement solutions like employee self-serve based on our calculations and our experiences, there are some significant benefits up for grabs based on the type or size of business and also your technological maturity. By eliminating all of that manual data entry and the associated issues such as errors, waste and delays, that can save office space staff many hours per week. In fact, 20 to 40% of time is non-value adding time in a manual process. This then allows them to focus on adding real value and planning ahead. Empowering your teams with self-serve will make their experience easier and more enjoyable, helping you retain top talent and reducing staff turnover by 10 to 20%. And giving your employees responsibility of their own data will, from our experience, increase data accuracy by 20 to 30%. This also eliminates the need and the cost to hire someone to come and check and cleanse all of that data in your systems. Employee self-serve also makes it easier to satisfy compliance, particularly certifications and accreditations, and increase compliance levels by between 10 and 15%. It also eliminates the overhead cost on reporting compliance externally. And finally, if you have visibility to view and monitor absenteeism and training requirements, this can not only result in earlier interventions, it can ultimately ensure that the right person is available at the right time for the right job, avoiding any costly delays to customers when they travel. So we hope you enjoyed our webinar about digitizing HR operations. Please don't forget to let us know what you thought about our webinar via the feedback form. Also, if you'd like to learn more about how we are helping organizations manage digital change, please visit our website, www.intelligence.com, or simply get in touch. We look forward to you catching up with you all again soon. Thank you.